Hey, what's going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another event video here on Marvel Strike Force. Are you ready for Zombie Scarlet Witch? Because that's what's happening on Monday at 2 p.m. Also, the same event is going to be related to getting shards for Blade. So it's going to be a bit of a double whammy combo, whatever, of events that is going to be related to how many Zombie Scarlet Witch shards you're going to get, but also how many Blade shards you're going to get, because it is kind of tough and it's a little bit challenging for new and mid-game players as far as the Blade shards go. We're also going to be talking about things like coring and how much you might want to do with relation to Zombie Scarlet Witch. However, on Monday, or tomorrow, I guess, I'm going to be having a separate video called Should You Core Zombie Scarlet Witch, knowing basically what you know about this event, whether or not I think it's worth it, and we're going to cover her kit in more detail tomorrow, just to do a recap for those of you who haven't really thought much about what she actually does, and whether or not she's ultimately worth it. But we're going to be here talking about the event, Overwhelming Hunger, and what you need to do. So if you're ready to go, let's boil this down. Okay, so there's a lot that we need to talk about in this video, but we're going to start here with the final recap for the month of October. We're actually doing very well points-wise. I plugged in all the numbers, actually minus the last free claim, which is probably going to be another 10,000, honestly, because there's going to be 5 free claim Fridays. And we're about a surplus of 111,000 points, which is quite good, which means that you could have missed some other stuff and still managed to pass the 1 million rather, 1 million mark that you needed for the points, plus 10K that we're probably going to get on the free claim. So it's probably like 1.12 million, right? So there's about 120K probably of a surplus. So pretty good. Unless you missed an entire event, you're probably going to clear this without a problem. Now, this is where things are going to get a bit interesting, I suppose. So I want to bring you to the website where they actually show all the missions on the side. So we have, even though it's not gone live, it's actually in the game. You can see it in the game, but you can't actually go in really into far detail. If you scroll to the far end, you can see Red Dead Rematch. And this is the showcase event that's going to be associated with Zombie Scarlet Witch. Now, I don't know how long that this is actually going to be running. In the past, the Zombie Juggernaut event only ran for 7 days. And so I'm going to go under the assumption that we're doing the same thing because it's a very limited time event as far as the expectation for character shards for Zombie Scarlet Witch. If you click on the preview, there's 3 different modes here. And where we're going to be getting her shards from is going to be from the challenge mode, where you are going to be using your own characters, basically. So I got that mixed up on the blog. I thought they were asking you to use Undying characters on this challenge mode, but no, it's just using your own characters. It's pretty easy to clear, honestly. It's the bonus difficulty where you are going to need the Undying characters at 3+ stars, 3-star, 4-star, 5, 6, 7. So that's the whaley kind of stuff. The challenge stuff is where you're going to get all the fragments for this, and also for this event as well, which is where you can see this on the website. So if you go on the right-hand side, we're just going to click on challenge. There's actually 3 nodes on the story mode where you get like free shards for Zombie Iron Man and Hela and things like that. But if we click on Red Dead Rematch Challenge, there are 5 levels. I do want to go over some of the rewards, which we're going to talk about in the math once we go into that. So I'm going to zoom in a touch here. You can see the first time rewards for node number 1, 50 Juggernaut zombie shards. There's actually, I think, a total of 150 free zombie Juggernaut shards, so that's pretty interesting. But the completion rewards, 35 Undying Orb fragments per hit. Now, in the past, in the Zombie Juggernaut event, because I went back and checked some of my videos, we got 40 fragments per hit. There's going to be a total of, as far as I'm aware, that there's going to be 10 attempts per node. There's 5 nodes. So for the Juggernaut event, you would get 1 full orb per day, free to play without refreshing the nodes. What it appears that we're going to be getting is, 35 times 10 is 350. So 350 times 5 nodes, which is less than a full orb. It's like 1,750 fragments. So it's not an entire free orb that we're going to be getting daily without refreshing the nodes. And that's pretty important once we start breaking down the math about how many of these orbs that we're expected to get. So that's going to be the primary mechanism in which you're going to be farming Zombie Scarlet Witch shards. Now, if you go on to the next mission, mission 2, you can see 50 Hela shards and 400 DPCs. The fragments remain the same. Node number 3, we have 50 more Zombie Juggernaut shards and 25 silver diamond credits. I guess that's half of a diamond. So it's better than nothing, I suppose, right? And the same other stuff down below. Node number 4, 50 zombie Iron Man. He's farmable now in the incursion. 600 more DPCs. So that's 1,000 DPCs, actually. That's not bad for being free. And then node number 5, finally, we have 25 more silver diamond credits and a 4 red zombie Juggernaut. So this part's really important. So hopefully that you haven't just spent your DPCs on Juggernaut Zombie, because I had been holding back. I thought that there was going to be something. I originally thought it was going to be in the RTA pass, but turns out they are giving this out for free in the challenge difficulty, which is really nice. And then there's your 1 diamond of, I guess you can put on Hela if you really want, or just some other character. So the Undying Orb Fragments, however, are the same. So daily, you could clear out the 5 nodes, but if you want to do more and get more than, you're not even getting 1 full orb actually without refreshing the nodes, then you're going to need to not only spend cores to refresh the nodes, spend the cores to get more energy. We're going to talk about that though. And before we do though, I just want to jump full screen mode into the charts here for the event. And you can see the rewards on the side. The blade charts, particularly 10, 20, 35, 60, and 100. Now, I do want to say that these 35 down here up to this point is going to be pretty easy, and almost everyone's going to get that. Where things are going to be more challenging, though, is these the 60 shards for the blade and the 100 shards for the blade. I don't know, why am I saying the blade? For blade. And I think what's going to be challenging is also because they're asking you for points for Undying characters at G17, 18, and 19, which a lot of early and mid game players are just not going to have. And actually, some late game players honestly aren't going to have this either. And so I've broken down the math scenario depending on how many, if you have Undying geared or not. That's going to make a pretty big difference in terms of the total amount of milestone points that you're going to get on this event. The rest of the milestone stuff I'm not going to cover. Night Raid is the same. The Sugar Rush is the same. The 400,000 candy that you need to spend this coming week. So that's nothing that we really need to go over. So let's just go over directly to the math now. Talk about a 7-day event, Overwhelming Hunger. It's the showcase, plus war, bonus with Undying. It's actually pretty simple, but it's asking you a lot as far as gearing requirements and how many cores that you want to spend on the Zombie Scarlet Witch showcase. So hopefully I can break this down for you a little bit better. Again, max milestones, you're not going to get that. But the event item is at 62,000 points, which is milestone 13. And then the total blade shards is 100. Of course, at milestone 16, which requires 116,000 points. That's quite challenging. Like I said, pretty much everyone's going to get 35. Some people might get 60. Some people might get 100. We'll see. I've kind of I plugged this, and I think this is what's going to happen. Now, the orb fragments, this very well could be more Undying orbs. So this could help you get a little bit closer either to her unlock or getting 3-star free to play. Maximum, honestly, even if you do coring, I think your maximum you're expecting a 3-star Zombie Scarlet Witch. I would highly doubt that there's going to be any more. I don't know what the estimated value of the Undying Orb is. We do know that there is guaranteed shards in there. The Zombie Juggernaut event had the Undying, the orb for that one was a 4 minimum drop. I have no idea what they're going to do for Zombie Scarlet Witch, but we can get a better idea of how many orbs that we can actually farm. The milestone, the Sugar Rush, is worth 33,500, and once again, just spending candy. So the limits here, let's zoom in a touch. 21,000 for war battles. So this is 7 battles per war. This is super easy. It's actually less than what they normally ask us to do 8, I think, or something, or 24 attacks. Now it's just 21 over 2 wars. This you could probably, or 3 wars, sorry. You could probably finish this in 2 wars though. But where a lot of the bulk of the points come from is the gear tier and Undying, which honestly is a pretty tough ask, I think, because a lot of people just didn't bother. Like if you're not engaged with the zombies, a lot of people just left them at level 1. Right? And so you're getting up to 8,000 and lots actually, like 54,000 points all the way up to gear tier 19 for having them geared. Now you do need for the G17 and 18, this requires 3 Undying at the gear tier level at 17 and 18, but only 2 at 19, assuming you're doing all 3 wars. So that's 6 attempts right here at G19, or 2 over 3 wars. And then this one is 8 attacks, or 3 times 3, right? Something like that. For 17 and 18. So 3 characters at G17 and 18, 2 characters, 2 per war. Let's put that in there anyways, for gear tier 19. And that's a lot of points. What I have decided to do, and that's not necessarily what I'm saying you should do, but the easiest character to gear for the Undying characters, if you are considering it at all, is Juggernaut Zombie. I have gone ahead and done this, or I did do this rather, because he only requires 2 gear pieces to upgrade. So if you're wanting to get this points, and honestly, to get to the 100 blade shards, you are going to need characters at G19. or be willing to spend a crap ton of cores. It's a combination, honestly. This is who I would personally recommend to upgrade if, and also knowing that we are going to get the 4 red, that's nice because it's going to go towards my getting his power up there. But he is the easiest character to gear. Hela is very expensive. She's 5 gear pieces. Zombie Iron Man is 3, and Zombie Scarlet Witch, if you are buying into her early, she is also 3. So do keep that in mind as well. So we have the Undying Orb Fragments. It's a 1-to-1 ratio in terms of the milestone points. The expectation per day, free to play, is 1,750. That's those 350 times 5 nodes, exhausting those nodes out. This is approximately 125 cores. This is about, your free to play energy plus about 2.5 refreshes. I know we can't get a 25 core, so you're going to have to do the third refresh then for 150, but you're not going to consume the entire amount of energy. So I guess what you could do is you could go and refresh a node, I suppose, and spend it a little bit more to finish off that orb that you're missing, because there's 250 missing here. That's pretty much what you're going to do per day. So it's going to be, I might as well just put 150 cores just so people understand better. But that's the expectation for free to play to exhaust the nodes kind of by itself. Now, over the course of 7 days, that's just over 6 orbs, right? And these numbers are kind of based on the original Juggernaut event. That basically there's 10 attempts per node, and there's 5 nodes. I don't know 100%. I'll admit that it's only 10 attempts. It could be more, but I want to assume that they're really lazy, and I know they're lazy, that they're probably just going to copy and paste what was on the Zombie Juggernaut event. I keep mixing my words up. But the other option would be, if you want to go towards pretty much like a second orb, then you're going to want to do 600 cores daily. It's a lot. You're jumping a lot. And the reason why you're doing this is because not only do you have to start refreshing the nodes, you also have to refresh more for the energy. So now you're looking at basically having to exhaust the nodes a second time, essentially. And to do that, you'll have to refresh each of the nodes, which costs 50 cores a piece, and then you'll have to refresh more for the energy, right? So you're doing like 4 or 5 more additional energy refreshes on top of the node refreshes, and all of that basically amounts to 600 cores. And that'll get you almost a second orb per day. So it's a pretty big jump to go from 150 cores for one orb to 600 cores for almost a second orb. But that's really all you can do. Like, there is no other way to do this other than opening your wallet and spending for Zombie Scarlet Witch. So just keep that in mind. If you do want to get more shards for her free to play, you need to open up your core wallet. That's basically what you're going to do. And then if you do the 600 cores daily over 7 days, then you're getting about 24,500 fragments, or, about 12 orbs. You could push this a little bit more if you want to, but this is going to cost you about 4,200 cores over the 7 days. Keep that in mind. So this brings us to what I call the total reasonable points. And I do have this for both the 150 core scenario and then the 600 core scenario, because that's going to change the milestone points, of course, because of the amount of undying orb fragments that you're going to pick up. And if you have no gear on any Undying, you're going to get about 70,000 points. This is still doing the 150, this stuff basically up here. And this is 35 blade shards only with the event item. You do get the event item, but you're only getting 35 blade shards. And unfortunately, this is probably where my alt account is going to land, because I don't have a crap ton of cores, and I just can't build up my Undying. And so that's unfortunately where I'm going to be. Lucky for me, I guess I got a blade jack, or I cored for blade on my alt account. Now, if you do have G18 Undying and you're doing the 150 cores daily, you'll get 60 blade shards. So that's 94,000 points there. That's not bad. It's not the full amount, unfortunately. But if you are doing 150 cores and you have G19, if you have 2 characters at G19 that are Undying, you will get the full 100 blade shards at 124,000 points. Good news if you're willing to do that. Now, the alternative, I suppose, is if you're doing the 600 cores daily for Zombie Scarlet Witch, and you do have some of the gear. So this is no gear on Undying, but you are doing the 600 cores. This will get you to milestone 14, aka 60 blade shards. If you have G18 Undying and you're doing the 600 cores, you'll get almost milestone 60. Not quite. You're getting 106,500 points. Now, I do want to go back to the chart, because, yeah, see, milestone 16 over here is 116,000. With those 40 blades, you're a bit further out. It's actually, it's not quite almost. I should probably not quite milestone 16. So I don't know how you'd make up that extra 10,000. Honestly, you would probably need 1 character at G19, which would give you an extra 15,000. So that's what you would need to do to get the 100 shards and spend 600 cores. You can see how important those G19 Undying characters are. And if you do have both G19 Undying and you're doing 600 cores, then you're getting 136,000 points. And that is very close to milestone 17. It's actually like 4,500 points away. But it's not very, it's not the bad. It's okay. It's got 250,000 purple ions. So if you do want to push for that, you would have to probably spend more cores and pick up more Undying Orb Fragments because that's the only way I think that you can push the points. Really, there's nothing else left. So you'd have to spend more cores to get more Undying Orb Fragments in order to bridge the gap. Although there is the Free Claim Friday, and I don't know how much you're going to get out of that, right? There's a few points there that you could get. So a lot of this relates to, in the final notes, basically expect only one Undying Orb daily at the cost of 150 cores. If you want more, then expect to spend 600 cores daily to refresh the nodes and energy for 2 orbs. This will be the only way to get shards for Zombie Scarlet Witch, and would likely make the difference between a 2 and 3-star Zombie Witch. So if you just want the 2-star unlock, just do the 150 cores daily. If you're looking towards more like a 3-star, then I would do the 600 cores daily scenario, like I mentioned above. And gear tier for Undying will make a huge difference in your milestone points and how much blade shards that you're going to end up picking up. Basically, whether or not you're going to get 35, 60, or 100 is totally going to depend on, what gear tier you have on your Undying. Otherwise, I guess if you don't need the blade shards, you can call it a pass. I would try at the very least to unlock Zombie Scarlet Witch. I think that she's also, I know that she is also a spec ops option for Battle World, and at the 3-star level. She is there for a category of 3 yellow Zombie Scarlet Witch. So I would try to at least get her to 3-star, but I understand that not everyone has the power cores to do so. So just something to keep in mind. Otherwise, I'm going to have my Should You Core video tomorrow for Zombie Scarlet Witch, where we're going to break down her kit. We're going to talk about her a little bit more, and whether or not I'm going to be pushing on her main account for Zombie Scarlet Witch shards. So that's going to be the end of this video, everyone. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. And of course, until next time, stay safe and healthy. I'll see you all later. Boilon, signing out.